Club. This video is sponsored by Tradecraft. Create your tags, tag your trades, store your recordings, create screenshots, and look at your statistics. You have the ability to create statistics using several widgets. You're able to place them wherever you please, having a place where you can store all your playbook trades, and you can quickly flip through them, studying all your trades. Tradecraft is more than a journal. It is a tagging software that allows you to create the statistics you need, where you have the ability to filter your trades out on an extremely deep level, allowing you to figure out exactly where your edge might be. For more information, check out the link in the description of this video or visit tradecraft.club.
What is up, everybody? I hope the fucking mic's working. It looks like it's fucking working. I'm always scared about that shit. Hump Day episode. I don't fucking know which one it is, but I swear I put it in the fucking... I don't know. It's one of the Hump Day episodes. I think today we're going to start off talking about the prop firm. There's a lot of shit we could talk about in this episode. We could talk about AI and how much I fucking love it now. And how useful that could be. But I want to talk about the prop firm because, well, obviously Chronik, who's listening to this right now, we kind of had an interesting moment today. It's episode 6. I thought it was 7. Anyways, whatever. So, last episode we were having problems with Chronik. And if you're unfamiliar, I'm trying to start a prop firm, not a combine, like a real prop firm, right? Train you, you have access to 2 coaches, you get good at it, and then you get money, and then you get proprietary technology we don't quite have yet. So it's a real slog. Anyways, oh man, I gotta turn off these fucking lights. Oh wait, I'm not gonna do it. So, one of my traders, Chronik, has been struggling. If you watched the last live stream, he wasn't doing so well. And Yuki and I put him on a trading regime. He's doing slip and range drills. I have a video on slips and reclaims. People often ask me what's the number one thing I should watch for patterns or technicals or whatever. It would be slips and reclaims. You need to understand them fucking things inside and out. You got to understand how they work, their nuances, because that is a pattern that repeats in every market, and it repeats fucking thousands of times a session in ES. So whoever shot me that love on fucking YouTube with those hearts, I see that shit. I love that shit too. I love you. Maybe it's my mom. I told her to do that. So, thank you, Mom. I'm just kidding. I have 2 dads. Oh, that was you? Appreciate it. Damn, dog. You got some abs. I got a fucking 1-pack, bro. Anyways, I got a keg. So, Chronik got put on a training regime. Yuki and I concluded that, and Tarugan's walking on the desk, we concluded that he's having a hard time like identifying like legitimate technical edge. Really, it's multiple problems that's going on. It's not, when it comes to you guys, it's never like one fucking thing. That's the problem. It's multiple fucking things. And as I kind of, the thumbnail is wrong. Shit. Maybe I'll fix it later. Damn it. Now that's going to fucking bother me. Well, I have to fix it now. Okay, there we go. Shooting me them fucking hearts, bro. What were we talking about? Fucking prop trading. That's right. I think who you are as a person really does mirror into trading. If you guys are having any issues if you have any childhood traumas or any sort of fucking weird tick or something going on in your life, chances are it's going to affect you as a trader. With Chronik, there's a lot of stuff like that is not trading related that we have to fix before he can psychologically get stabilized in trading. Because there's 3 things that go on in your trading. You have technicals. That's where you're trying to find edge looking at the shit, right? The screens, whatever it is, something on the screen. You got your management. You were too early. You were too late. You needed to hold it more. You try to push a scalp when you shouldn't have. That's management. And then you got psychology. Ultimately, you're pressing the button. You're going to get in your own fucking way. You're going to fuck the edge up. You're going to fuck the management up, right? Do you think trading journey is worthful? I'd like to... I don't know if Chronik's still here. So here's what we did with Chronik. And is the trading journey worth it? Maybe not for some people. I think for some people it becomes absolutely fucking misery. If you look on Reddit, there are people who've wasted 5 years or more, and they just they ain't really figured out what they need to be doing. For Chronik, on the other hand, while his P&L isn't that great, his psychological P&L is improving because we've done a lot of work. One of the episodes I talked about quantum timeline technique on him. Today, I use this one technique. I don't remember what it's called. So Chronik has an issue where, and this will answer your question, he has an issue where he feels like a quitter. Like he just wants to give up and be lazy. So what I did was I had him pretend like he's standing here and the quitter version of him is on the other side of the room, right? So what I had him do was basically cuss it out. Tell that version of you how you feel. And he was obviously thoroughly disgusted with that quitter version of himself because there is a lot of people that commit account suicide. They do... People who are really doing serial combines are doing that shit. They're like, fuck, I can get a free reset. I'll just kill the account. And then I'll reset and start over. Right? There's just people that, and I have a buddy that's working at a prop firm. I asked him, why are traders failing? And when the times get tough and they're fighting, and it's not easy, because trading is warfare. It really is. When it's not getting easy, they just commit account suicide, and they want the pain to be over with. Okay? And Chronik he wants to quit. He wants to just stop the pain of this. No pain, no gain. Sophos knows. So I had him talk to that version of himself where he cussed it out. He told it how disgusted he was. And he really got into it, right? And the reason I'm doing this shit is to hit a really deep emotional button, okay? People change when they experience a very strong emotional event. Like a month or two ago, my girlfriend got T-boned at a red light. She wasn't paying attention and fucking ran it, okay? Luckily, she didn't go to the hospital. It fucked her up good, though, and she got hit on the passenger side. That was enough to get her to pay attention when she drives, right? Because when you get hit in a car and it's that violent, it triggers a bunch of fear, just a very strong emotion. So when I'm doing these techniques, I'm trying to find that. Now, we're used to negative emotions. That's just what you guys are all being groomed to do by all the bullshit you consume. A lot of people are very pessimistic. So, Chronik's cussing this version out. And then I had him become that version, and he walked across his room, stood over there, and turned, And he just talked to the version that gave him shit. Now, he didn't just like full on cuss it out. He didn't do that. He just told it how he was disappointed, how he doesn't want it. He's tired of it. Like a bad roommate or a child or some shit, right? So he goes into that version and talks to himself. And what was interesting is he told himself at the end of it, because he felt disgusted with himself, and at the end of it he goes, just remember, I'm you. Like this quitter part, this part of him that just wants to smoke weed, play video games, not do shit. And that's the thing I want to talk about, is like, in order to be a good trader, you have to be the best version of yourself. So is the journey worth it? It is. Whether you make it on the other end or not financially, it is if you go down that path. I've had a change as a person. Okay, I used to tilt out pretty bad. You know, just like this and doing this to the screens when the market just knows you're in. Even if you're on like a sim or some shit, it's like it knows what you're doing or some shit, you know? I'm like, fuck you. Learning to just like not let that happen. So Chronik then goes to another part of the room, right? And then he's observating this conversation as if he doesn't know who these two people are. And he explained to me what he saw. And then we did something called parts integration. I let him go outside. Take a minute, because it does get intense. And what I did was I had him visualize the two different parts in detail. What does successful Chronik look like? And he gave me detail, like a lot of color, bright colors, a well-kept beard, wearing a watch, a nice flannel tucked in. That's the way he sees himself. You know, sticks the chest out, walks proud. The other version doesn't want to be seen, hoodie, hunched over, looking at his phone, doesn't care about anything. And ultimately, when you have confliction inside, those two separate parts, quitter Chronik and successful Chronik, because I know he wants it. Those two parts want the same thing. So what I do is I talk him through these, like, what these different parts want. And I'm ultimately finessing the conversation to where the part that, like, what do they both ultimately want? And for him, it was self-love and happiness, really. There was, like, one other thing in there. So, Coach, Tarukin's about to fight. Oh, you guys didn't get to see it. I like it when they fight each other. But anyways, it's not, like, violent or anything. So they wanted the same thing, which was basically self-love. So once I'm seeing that, what they both want, because I'm trying to, like, flesh out the negative shit and trying to, like, finesse the conversation to where he's finding positivity or something. And I'm just, like, giving, like, little one-liners and shit and just kind of dancing around. And he's visualizing these two parts. And usually the person's hands start to come together and they don't realize that they're doing this subconsciously. Those two parts are coming together. So my assistant coach, Yuki, is listening. He's not saying anything. And I told him, I need you to repeat this list. Like, I actually sent it. Here, let me read it. So I asked Chronik, can these two parts work together? And Yuki was repeating, loving yourself, happy, a life worth living. So I told Yuki to do it now. So I sent a message, do this now. And we're both saying it at the same time. So it's like really trippy in his headphones, right? And we're out of sync, right? we keep going, loving yourself, happy, a life worth living, loving yourself, happy, a life worth living, and we're kind of out of sync. So it's like really doing this shit a number to his brain, you know what I mean? And I'm like, when you're ready, put your hands onto your heart. And you could just hear him breathing real hard and shit. Like I couldn't see him. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you some time. Step out. And then called him like 2 hours later, and I'm like, how are you feeling? And he goes, dude, I feel fucking happy. He's like, I feel like I have a best friend that I've known my entire life. He goes, both parts want the same thing. And I didn't tell him what we were doing. And he's like, I've never felt this happy in my fucking life. And it was an immense amount of happiness, and he's smiling for 2 straight hours. And he's like, dude, I'm just excited to like go to work tomorrow because he has a part-time job and just do all this other shit. And that for me is like, all right, this worked. Because I haven't used this technique in a long time since I trained on it at an NLP thing, because it's an NLP technique. And this specific exercise was the most impactful on me, where it did change my life like permanently. So is trading worth it? If you're going down the rabbit hole of you must improve to do this because it's hard at a high level, yeah, but most people don't ever find that. They don't go down that fucking path. I can't explain how correct you are, Fat Cat. Those internal mental and emotional issues must be resolved in order to find overall success. And you're going down the path learning about yourself, your emotions, your triggers are all life-changing. Yep. And this is what, I have a playlist where I talk about the first time I announced trying to build a prop firm. And I said that the edge we have over other firms is what I just did today with Chronik. It's the psychological aspect of it. Because I don't think many guys out there, coaches, will be doing that for their traders. I don't think they're getting into their heads and rewiring their brains. It's just like, do better, do better. Stop doing it. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? You have to it's a finesse. And this for me is like, we're not like a prop firm to make money, which I want, right? The first thing that matters is changing that guy's life for the better. I'm in the business of changing these guys for the better. Because anytime I've done this deep work with any traders, their lives fucking change. And it's not being reflected on the trading screens right now, right? Because there's other things they need to learn. They need like raw skill. They need like actual trading skill. But that's the business we're in. And I had Yuki sit down because he's really interested in this type of mental work. And that's what this is about. So this was interesting. He's kind of in timeout as far as like training goes. And I said this in the last episode. It's like a car, dude. It's like buying a used car. The fucking AC system doesn't work. The belts are broken. The fucking tires need to be replaced. The brake pads are busted. Need to clean the interior. When it comes to traders, they're like used cars, man. And there's like, in order for them to make money, it's a combination of, like, if I want to drive that car reliably down the road, I need to fix all this shit. And it's one thing at a time. Now, one thing we're doing that is interesting for me is AI. I do want to talk about that after I get a sip of this nasty water. Oh, shit, look. It's green, so the green screen's kind of working on it. This is actually a green can. Ugh. I'm going to rinse it out with good water. This came out of the fucking toilet. So, AI. I paid for the fucking pro version of ChatGPT, which is $200. I talked about this in the last episode. I successfully vibe coded something that clears out orders on a power meter. It took a day and a half. Never coded in my life. Then I started talking to it about manipulation and markets, what's going on with the order flow, and I'm using like deep research mode, and I'm learning about the government bodies, the CTIFC, I think it is. It's the SEC equivalent of futures. Last year there were a lot of violations, more than like any other year for like shit like wash trading. So it's kind of confirming my theories. Now, one thing I'm doing is the trade journal, Tradecraft. Let's see, let's just kind of do this. So if you go to the settings on here, and by the way, there is a free version of this you can use. These are all my tags. So what I did was you can go to, I think it's export. You can export all of your tags and data. And then what you can do is you can put it into AI. And that's what I'm doing right now. Because trying to comb through all the stats to find edge and shit. Because a lot of the tags kind of complement each other. Like, for example, these are the range tags. So do psych prices impact the ranges, and does a specific time of day impact when certain ranges are going to work? And you still, AI, for me at least, here's the thing about AI. I used to be whatever. It's only as good as you are. So I have a coder who works on this website that I pay, right? The Tradecraft. I could never build this. I could, but it would take fucking tremendously large amounts of time. I think you still need to have some domain knowledge and expertise in something to really get it to work for you. I don't think it's going to make your trading necessarily better if you're brand new and you have no fucking idea what to focus on. And it does give shitty suggestions sometimes. I think having domain knowledge, it amplifies what you know, and it just makes you a more powerful version of yourself. Like, when I was doing the parts integration on Chronik, I couldn't fucking remember the script. So I was talking to it in the middle of us doing this. And I go, I need a parts integration script, make it short and to the point. Because I'm trying to do two things at once, and it was spitting it out for me. I'm like, all right, this is good. So one thing you have to do, because I've been putting this off for some time, is doing deep research on my shit. So tag, we want to look at just this higher time frame mean, for example, which will be up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm already telling it which tags are good tags and bad tags. I'm the confusion tag, for example, which will be down here. I'm this is not a good tag. These emotions here, they're not good either. This is good up here. And what's interesting is I'm getting it to categorize shit for me. And when you export the data, it can see it. And I tested it a little bit. I go, hey, what's the win? What's the number of tags on clear? And it's 555 or some shit. I'm all right, that's right. So when you export the data from here, it actually can pick up on that. So what I'm going to start doing is just feeding it notes and I use a mic and talk to it. So I think it's still important to look at this shit to get an idea of what's going on. But for example, I want to do higher time frame mean favor. So I filter that out. There's 177 of those trades. That's the sample rate. So far, what is the cumulative on it? 19 grand. So I want to know, like, are psych prices affecting it? So what I can do is, where's my psych prices? Because I think some of these tags need to be, like, fucking retired. But what you got to understand is there's, like, millions of combinations of shit here. Where the fuck are they? There it is, on the point. So for me, it would actually be better to just kind of come down here. And we're going to be building a better filtering system. I'm going to split this fucker 3 ways. Yep. And then we'll go like this. Hide the series setting. Take that off. And then what I want to do is go like that. So we'll remove the on point up here. Because I need to do all this fucking work. And then in this, we'll go tag, add filter. No, that's not it. See, my eyes are getting all crossed and shit. Looking at the motherfucker. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. So I'll do that. And then we can come in here, mid. And then I want to see for myself, is there any form of edge? So these are, so the orange is psych prices. I've always wanted to know, do round numbers matter in trading, like 500 even, 50 even? We have a pretty high sample rate. It's going to be higher because we're looking at just one tag right now. But here's what it would look like without this filter. So this is high time frame mean reversion. If we do this, this is every tag. We can see that we're psych prices is actually performing the best right now. But what I've noticed, and the green screen's all fucked up behind me because I'm moving, so you can't see how it starts really. But this is the start. So far, psych prices are performing really well, and the mids are kind of performing like shit, and the purgatories are kind of performing like shit. But you got to ask yourself, like, why are they performing like shit? Is it because of confusion? Am I taking more confused trades? Well, yeah, not too terribly much. We got 13 here, 17, 11. So it's not off by too much with confusion. So we know confusion is not hurting them in raw form. And so what I do is I talk to the AI and say, well, I notice confusion's not really impacting them. They seem to all be the same. And I'm building a profile on my tags because doing like trying to figure out which tags actually have edge to build a playbook off is really daunting because there's like a fuckload of combinations. Because when we're taking trades, for example, I still need a review today. These are all the potential combinations of tags I could get, right? Any new connections using your power meters? For wash trading, I wish I had footage on it. So I ran a script. I got a script with AI working to where it's resetting it. I know the market regime seems to be changing, and I am tracking it right now. Like I'm tagging it. I'm tagging the wash trading shit. Let me do this. Let me show you the statistics on it. Should be in here somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, this is it. Nope, that's not it. Let's see what the stats are on it on wash trading. So it will be this right here, the favor. You have balanced where the buys and sell orders are balanced. So I'm still gathering that we don't have enough data on it. But this is where we're kind of at right now. So far, like trading. So because what I'm doing is I'm tracking 1 through 5 lots, and what happens is every time an equal amount of 5 lots come in, the power meter resets. So just my theory on wash trading. So what I notice is when I look at individual time and sales windows, a lot of the like contracts, so I'm looking at just 1 lots, 2 lots, 3 lots, 5, 11 lots. I notice that a lot of the time those contracts are in and out pretty quick. And somebody was asking about Delta today in the Discord. They're like, why is it sometimes the Delta goes up but the market drops and it goes the other way? Well, it's because they're spoofing, and the problem with the Delta, in my opinion, if you use it and it works, keep doing it. But from my perspective, is a lot of those contracts that's being measured on that Delta or your volume profile, they're already flat. We know that 90% or some high percentage of volume is being controlled by short-term trading. There's research papers on this and shit. So if most of it is HFTs, then most of the contracts you're seeing are flat. So they're coming in and out, and they're picking up ticks. So going, oh, there's a bunch of buying pressure or selling pressure here. That's not necessarily true, because a lot of that can be already flat. And you're just kind of looking at contracts that aren't even in a position anymore. And I think a lot of people kind of discount that. So my theory is these guys are getting in and out. I can see it on the time and sales, like obscure contracts like 7 lots or 13 lots. You can see them getting in and out within a couple of ticks. So if I see an 11 lot buy and then it immediately sells, that's probably the same guy and he's flat. So Jigsaw has these power meters where you see the buy order, the sell order. So 11 buy, 22 buy, that means 2 11 lots came in, 11 lots sell. And then if another 11 lot sell comes in, then those 11 lots, in my opinion, they're flat, they're out. So I've been tracking it. Does it offer any edge in trading? Well, I'm tracking it from a statistical standpoint, and the sample size is not that high yet, right? We got 22 trades favor. So what does that mean? That is when the 1 lots, there's more buy 1 lots than sell 1 lots, and I'm fading into that. So I'm actually trading against the majority when you see this green tag. This red tag means I'm trading with the majority, which is not performing right now, but we have to ask ourselves, is that because it's a shitty fucking trade? Combing through statistics is a bit fucking weird. Here's when it's perfectly balanced when I get into a trade. So far, I don't have an opinion on it. What I notice is there's certain days where it'll do things. There's certain days where you can see the pacing of it. You'll see them like pace, and then they stop pacing, and then you just see it die. And there are on certain days when that pacing of tape dies, the market will reverse. But within the last week or so, that's not necessarily the case. We're kind of getting into what I would call like a lot of fake outs and shit. But what I have been noticing is when larger contracts have been coming in like 10 lots and shit, wherever the 10 lots are hitting, the market will drift from that pool of 10 lot market orders, and then it'll eventually go through that section again. So just keeping track of where the larger blocks are hitting, the market has been going back through those sections. But this is what's so fucked up about order flow. It's always different. You have to be careful with the pacing thing, by the way. Pace of tape can be deceiving in certain environments, and here's why. The order flow is always different. So, like, there's days where it's all like 5 lots coming in, and you'll just see a couple of 10s, 12s hit, but you won't see 40s and 50s. Today, you're seeing 40s and 50s and 60 lots hitting, and I mean a lot of them are coming in specific pockets. There are days where it's mostly 10 lots and up, and the sub 10 lots are barely trickling in. So you're having bigger market orders push the market. And it's just like you have all this dynamic and all this nuance to how the order flow is coming in. Are they spoofing? Are they spoofing on larger bids, smaller bids? Is the market skittish? Is it thick? That just totally changes from a day to day. How those market orders are coming in. Are they spoofing a lot? Are they pulling? And you're getting these huge rips where nothing is traded and then it starts reloading. Or is it not spoofing when it rips up? It just happens to be getting swept by larger traders. And that just totally changes the fucking price action on the, because I look at small time frames, like 1 10-second. And as of this week, I've been going out back to a 10-second. Reason being, as we've talked about this before, but let me pull it up. If we look at a 1 second, and let me go to when the market is actually like open somewhere in here. You can see like how tight it gets, like 4-tick wide little ranges. See how tight it is, and it's very flat in certain areas. That to me is hardcore manipulation. And this time frame becomes excruciatingly difficult to trade. Like trying to trade these little micro ranges is, in my opinion, a little too dangerous because you can get trapped. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you're trying to mean revert here. You're long in one of these ticks, right? Well, what it'll do is it'll come out, and then you can see this tick here. Well, let's say the market goes down. You're still long up here, right? You're still long in there. The market drifts. This right here probably ain't filling you. You can see how it barely ticks. If you're trying to take a break even there, I can almost guarantee not enough contracts came in to get you the fuck out. And that's what happens when you go to a lower time frame, when that volatility really contracts. They start trapping you. And then you can see it comes down, and then it comes back up, and you might be thinking, oh, good, I might be able to get out. And then it just stays like exactly a tick under your fucking entry. And you never quite get that fucking break even. And the problem of scalping on such a small time frame, it has its place. When VIX is high, boy, oh boy, does it work great. I mean, I think high volatility is a blessing from the gods themselves if you know what you're doing. Volatility is amazing. The thing is, this shit traps your fucking ass. So I can't compete on this time frame. I need to step out a bit, and I need to be kind of looking for ranges like this one, this 5-pointer, and finesse into that type of shit. And what's going on is there is a game being played in the order flow. And depending on how they're playing that game varies day to day, which affects these patterns going up. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm an avid bass fisherman, I notice that pause gets me to pull my position, and then it goes. I was visualize that market maker trying to get me to bite. Actually, you know, what's interesting is I've been going through a book called The 33 Principles of War, I think it is, or Strategies of War by Robert Greene. Listening to the audiobook. And it doesn't talk about just raw warfare, but it also talks about movie producers, politicians. It does talk a lot about warfare, modern, tribal, World War II, Napoleon. And the book starts off with talking about the warfare in your own mind and how that plays a huge aspect. Then it goes into the different types of defensive warfare, because this is warfare. And then offensive and then dirty warfare. And the thing is, if you listen to the book and just think about the fucking markets, it's like it makes so much sense. A good way to fuck with an opponent is to outpatient them. If you're running like a defensive strategy, you can set up in a way that you get them to become impatient if they know you, and that's most retail traders. Myself included, out of all the big nasty things that fucks with me the most, it's not tilt. Used to be, but I worked on it. It's not really contentment, because I've taken some big hits and I've managed to get out of those, so I'm desensitized to it. It's that fucking patience. And when I work with these other traders, it's the same fucking thing. And that motherfucking market will outweigh you. Now there's another layer of shit going on that I do want to get to. I'll read your comments here in a minute. But it basically outpatients you. And the market is so brutally choppy, because I did a drill last Friday. Because sometimes I'll just resort to doing drills. And I was trying to push trades. And last Friday, it was not working. And it's almost like guerrilla warfare. The force you're dealing with is bigger and stronger than you are. And patterns are, in fact, decaying a lot quicker than when I first got into trading. It used to be a lot easier to hold something. The patterns do decay a lot sooner. There's some academic research on it. I love ChatGPT's O3 model, deep research. I paid $200 for this shit. So the patterns are decaying quicker. And there are things being passed to help the market. April 2026, they're passing a thing where all these large players are going to have to start giving all the timestamps of their trades, so that way they can like crack down on wash trading. 2024 was the biggest year of monetary fines. So there's definitely some fucking nasty shit going on. And they're trying to change it. There's been proposed things about where big players like Jane Street, the Citadels, the big players that own most of the volume, where they get capped to where they can't control like 30 or 40%. They're capped on how much volume, but nothing so far is, don't count on that for the next few years. It's just been talked about, that specific thing. So you want to look at it like guerrilla warfare, because I swear to God, every entry gets fucking checked. And you just can't quite win because the EV of it all changes. And it is like guerrilla warfare. This is part of the book I went into today. I mean, look at fucking Afghanistan. 20 years. I'm an American. You know, I went to school with all my high school, like my high school buddies that went to the military, they went there. Or Iraq. Because I graduated like 06. So, you know, the shit was Twin Towers 01. So it was still kicking over there, right? So look at that. Taliban ended up taking back after 20 fucking years. We're the superior force. We got the helicopters. We got the fucking AC-130s. We got the fucking jets. However, you got to look at the market. This is like America, right? You got to look at yourself like an Afghani or a Taliban soldier. You want to ambush it, and you want to ambush it when you really know you can fucking do some damage. So a defensive trading. Pop in, ambush it, scalp it. The traders I know that are having success are fucking scalping. I just don't. I think you can make a good living off of scalping. You really can. You don't need much. A little bit of size and 12 ticks a day, you can have a good fucking life, okay? Traders get really greedy and they're just trying to get too fucking much out of it. And ES especially is a wild beast because no matter how good your read is on it, something happens and it changes. So you want to almost be ambushing it. Now, it's unlike the Taliban wearing down the Americans, we're not going to wear down the market. But you want that defensive, wait in the fucking... It took me 40 minutes to get my first trade today, by the way. Actually, yeah. 40 minutes to finally... Because I pulse check. So what I do is I look at it, and I start predicting, like, trades I would normally take. And I want to... It's kind of like putting in a feeler trade or a sim trade. So I mentally take it. Was I correct? The first trade I was kind of correct. And it was a mental trade. Trade 2, I was not correct, but I could have got a few ticks out of it. And trade 1, yes, I was correct, but I would have to sit in it for a long time. I could get an initial few ticks out of it. Trade 3, I was wrong on. So I'm like, okay, my clarity and my ability to pulse check it, I'm trying to make sure I know how to read this. Right? I'm 2 out of 3, I'm correct enough for a few ticks. So that's what I did. I still need to review the trades, but this is today's session. I got a partial fill on the first trade. Half went in and I pulled it off for a few ticks, and the other half came out as a slight loss, and it averaged out. So I'm having issues with my size not getting all the way in. Then we picked up 450, 750, 450. You're talking like this one is like, what, for me, I think that's 3 ticks, 5 ticks. That's it. 1,300. So, very small. I'm not trying, and now here's the thing, I'm not trying to pick up a tick or two. I want to hit a spot where I think I can get about a point or two. Because one of my guys is having a problem where he's good at picking up ticks, really good at it, but he's getting blown out at 12, 8 ticks. In that situation, you need to be more patient, and just because you're a sniper and you see somebody and you know you can hit them, that's not the best target to hit. Snipers don't just hit a normal soldier. They want to hit a high-value guy like a fucking commander or something. So when you're sitting there waiting, don't be going for the little bullshit because there's still a risk on it. You're probably going to you could get blown out. So to offset those 12 8-tick losses, you want to be hitting about 4 or so. That's sort of the adjustment. Now, my one trader, Miller, he's doing really good. He's traded for about 14 days now. He's past his 12 days because we're using the futures desk. So we're using a combine to get paid. And to do this, they know who we are and what we're trying to do. So he needs to make $4,000 on... he needs to make 4 Gs on a 1 lot, by the way. And minimum 12 days. So far, he's doing pretty fucking good. I'll actually pull his shit up. But here's the thing, because I was talking about Chronik earlier. What I love about Chronik is I don't like Miller. I don't need to manage really, and he's doing it. What I like about Chronik is like he really is a fucking challenge, and I want that challenge. I want somebody who's got problems, and I can try to fucking straighten it out. So here's Miller's right now. I don't know if he has commissions forced into it or not, but 23 maybe because of how the numbers are coming in. So I think this doesn't have the commissions. I think he's right around the 2 or so, but he's got the days in. Miller is a scalper, a really good scalper, and he trades the slip range sort of strategy, and that's all he does. That's what he grinds out. That's his little playbook. He's not trying to do any cheeky shit, and it's working for him. Let's see what you guys are saying. Price coming back up near your break even is almost like a life preserver ring being thrown at you. Depending on the market or the session, I'm telling you, if I get in a trade and it blows my ass out a lot harder than I anticipated, and if it comes back and I can get that break even, I'm going to do it. And I don't want to I rather reposition. Because here's the problem. Traders are like, oh boy, I just want to get out of it. And it gives you that opportunity sometimes. And then you're like, well, fuck it. Let's just see what happens. And then it gets worse. It will. It's like throwing you the preserver and then it fucking yanks it back because you didn't put your hand on it. Like if you get into a trade and just gone down way too far beyond what you thought, because the market moves in waves. That means you're probably on the wrong side of a fucking wave, and it's going to start to wave below you. And it's like, take that son of a bitch and get the fuck out. Otherwise, it'll take it right out of your hands. Let's see. You better grab that sucker and take it. Yup. Seems like the first few 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes are only good times to be trading order flow. You could be right. I tend to just kind of trade fucked hours. I will just go in there. Anytime you get in that volatility, it is nice. In the morning, you're definitely going to get those 4-tick, 8-tick layups, 12 tickers, a lot easier. But it depends on the session. I don't want to overgeneralize that. What's my opinion on bread? Like wheat bread or white bread? Or breadeth indicator, you mean? Anyways, somebody's asked, his name's I Ask About Bread. I don't know. When I go to Subway, it's the garlic herb and cheese bread. I do like banana bread. If the banana has been kind of like, it's starting to get brown spots and shit, I think when you turn that into bread, it's pretty good. What else? Yeah, I would say that's about it for bread. I think good dough is needed for good pizza. Fucking Tony C's pizza is the shittiest pizza I ever had. Just want to put that out there. Anyways, so another interesting thing is I started talking to AI about like this predatory shit. And I'm like, I need you to like actually like not hallucinate and tell me, give me research papers and shit. And it was telling me what's going on. And then it started talking about pension funds and how pension funds are statistically the biggest real money player. So I started to go down that fucking rabbit hole. And I don't know if you guys remember, but some months ago, some guy gave me these fucking option levels. And I just didn't understand it. Some guy, I'm like, they're just fucking levels. I don't fucking get it. They seem like they work at times. So it started talking about that, and what's interesting is the way these pension funds are working. And it just might explain what's going on in futures. There's actually a big write-up on it. I will share that in chat for you guys so you guys can have it. And this is a recent fucking study, by the way. Let me find it. Where the fuck is it? Just a moment here. I'm going to give it to you guys. I'm going to link it in the comments section. Fuck, I'm doing a lot of scrolling. No, that's not it. Here it is. Here you guys go. A document for you. Recent study about options, what's going on with the pension funds and shit. So you hear a lot of people talking about option levels and how it affects futures, and it's like leading futures and shit. It's like, okay, but sometimes it gets in my fucking head because they're like, gamma flip and shit. I'm like, I got the AI to fucking dumb it down a lot for me to understand it. So apparently here's what's happening. Pension funds need to hide what they're fucking doing. They don't want to be seen. HFTs are like fucking piranhas. If you read the book Flash Poise, anytime a large bank or institution's moving sides, those HFTs would front run them or whatever, and they're basically scalping. Or well, they are scalping, but like think of it like, you know, when the new Xbox comes out, somebody buys it all up, and then they sell it to you for more. That's what these goddamn algos are doing to the pension funds. I said earlier above the last 30 minutes of trading because of Charm Rally. Yep. So I'm starting to see what you guys talk about. So the pension funds got to hide their shit. There are orders that are being executed that you're not seeing on your tape at all. So let's say Chronik has 10,000 ES contracts. I have 10,000 ES contracts. I can call him and I can buy more from him or sell more, but I can't do more than 500 contracts. Only 500 or less. So he's like, all right, I'll sell them to you. And then he sells me 500. We have 15 minutes to report that shit to the CME. Otherwise, we're going to get fined. So there's large orders that are being transacted that are being reported up no later than 15 minutes. And you can watch those orders come in on the CME's website. There's special tickers where you can see this shit. And when you look on the CME website, it seems like it's a lot of like sweet crude and cattle that's being done this way. Not sure about the ES contracts. So there's a lot of things going on where they're just simply hiding shit. One thing that the pension funds apparently are doing, and these dealers, the dealers are not market makers. Market makers are going to be different than the dealers. The dealers will buy and sell large blocks with the pension funds. However, when they're doing that, they're cutting their orders up and they're hiding it. And this is why the ES is so choppy. They're not putting in 100 lot. They're more and more these days are cutting them up in the little chunks. Like 5 here, 10. So let's see. Yep, Taco and B-Tick. But Taco and B-Tick are a little different. There's a special ticker symbol to see those, if you would like. You can look it up on the... Just talk to ChatGPT or something. Vol Signal on Twitter and his Discord is the only legit X market maker that helps retail with Gex positioning and charm for ES. Really. I had a guy give me something for fucking ES. That's a question. Somebody's asking you, Delta, about that room. I'm not familiar with it. But anyways, so what's going on is, for example, let's say the fucking pension fund is long, SPY or some shit. They'll buy a put for insurance. If you don't understand how options work, here's how it is. So if somebody buys a call, they're betting the market goes up. Let's say you can pay $100 for that call. That's all you'll lose on it. That is it. You'll lose $100, but you stand to make however much the move goes up. However, it's like an insurance policy. Somebody's on the other end of that call. They're a short call. So they want the market to go down. It's like, let's say I buy insurance on my fucking car, okay, for a month. If I get into a car accident, I might get paid out a lot more than what I paid to the insurance company. So that's like the call working. It actually went up. However, at the end of the month, if I don't get in that car accident, that $100, that goes to the insurance guy. That's all they'll ever make. They'll only make that. They'll make that fucking premium on it. They'll make $100, no more. So if, in order to hedge themselves, a lot of these pension funds are trying to stay like delta neutral from my understanding, and I'm not a pro at this. I'm just telling you what I'm discovering. So bear with me for the option gods in the fucking room. And it makes sense to just be hedging yourself, right? It makes sense that if you're a larger institution, you're going to fucking hedge yourself. So in order for that, maybe they think SPY is going to go up, so they're selling or buying calls. They're betting the market, that's insurance. They're buying insurance at $100. So I got it wrong. It would actually be them buying a put. It's the other way around. I don't mean to confuse you. So buying a put means you bet the market goes down. You're buying insurance on the market going down. So they would buy a put. Long SPY, buy put. If the market goes down, that put can keep making more and more money. But their long SPY position is going to start losing. So they're buying insurance on the motherfucker. If their SPY position works, all they're going to do is lose $100. So, yeah, that's it. So they do have a directional bias, but if it goes down, they can sort of take that insurance money they're getting to offset the loss on the long SPY position. Hopefully that's not too fucking confusing. Now, if they're fucking betting down within the insurance, somebody's on the other side of that. That's your dealer. So they want the market to go up. Let's say we're at the price of, and these are like Gex levels, by the way. So let's do this. Let's say we're here at 50 even. Okay, and this is SPX, which is the ES sort of option chain. There's a lot of options on ES, but SPX is the big daddy of them all. Let's say the pension funds think we're going to go up right here. Okay? And it's right about here. We're trading about here. They're going long SPY. However, since this is red, this is a put. They're buying puts. And this is where it gets confusing. When you buy a call, you're betting the market goes up. When you're buying a put, you betting the market goes down. When you're shorting a put, you're betting the market goes up, and when you're shorting a call, you bet it's like a call and a put have a long and a short position. I'm sorry, just the call. The call has a long and a short position. Just bear with me, motherfuckers. So a call has a long and short position. Long call, it goes up. Short call, I want it to go down. Puts have a long and short position as well. Long put, I want it to go down. Short put, I want it to go up. But you're paying insurance on one side or the other. The other guy is only going to make that insurance money you give them. So if it's $100 to get in the position, that's all you're going to lose. That's all the insurance guy is going to make, right? When you guys pay your car insurance, once your policy's up after a year, they keep the fucking couple $1,000 you gave them. It's gone because you didn't get in a car accident. That's why you need to put your car on the train tracks. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. My girlfriend wanted to get out of that car payment, by the way. I'm like, well, this is actually good. Because the car wasn't worth what she was paying. And when she got in a car wreck, I'm like, well, at least you don't have to pay that anymore. And then at the day after a wreck, I went to see her, and I was wearing a shirt with a Grim Reaper on it that said, "What a time to be alive." Because I'm a bit of an asshole. But it's for fun and games, right? So let's say that they're betting the pension fund, Big Daddy Pensions, wanting this motherfucker to go up. He's selling puts, so it's going red. That's his insurance. Let's say they sell $100. They pay $100 for this shit. Well, the market went way up, so their fucking put positions are going to fucking lose. But it's only going to lose $100, where they're making a lot more on their long positions. So that's okay. One thing I recommend you guys do is chat with Trader Shark. He's one of the big traders at S&B Capital. He does this same thing, and he starts talking about it. He's like, yeah, I put off, because he like swing trades for a few days, and he's running these option strategies to hedge himself. So that it's kind of a smart thing, but you need a lot of capital to do this, and you need to be constantly adjusting your positions. That's why the ES is so fucking choppy. So who's on the other end of this? Well, the dealer. So the dealer doesn't want it to go up. They're like, you know, they're selling you fucking insurance, right? This is kind of like the insurance company. Are you a reckless driver? What does your driving record look like? All that shit. Man, I'm taking on too much risk here. They don't want the market to go up. So what is the fucking, and all they can do is make $100. So if the market goes down, they're going to make $100. But what the dealer's doing is they got to hedge themselves. So since they're betting the market goes down here, they're buying. They're buying ES contracts to hedge out the risk they just might take on that fucking position. So the ES is so goddamn choppy. And I sent the paper, and guys can read it. It's like 60-something pages. This is why it's so fucking choppy. Okay? Is these dealers are fucking hedging themselves in the ES to offset a position that they basically sold to a fucking pension fund or some shit. And when you look at it from that contextual perspective, it starts to make sense. So there's like gas mode and brake mode. Let me fucking read what you guys are saying. Let's see. You guys are bullshitting. So you guys are okay. I'll let you guys keep bullshitting. So that's what's going on in this shit. I mean, look at this big-ass put level, and the motherfucker squeezes up. So there's, like, gas mode and brake mode. Let me actually pull up my fucking cheat sheet real quick. Where is it? Futures market manipulation. So let me pull up my fucking cheat sheet so I can fucking explain this shit. Okay, here we go. So there's brake mode and chase mode. Chase mode is what they call short gamma. Okay? And then you'll hear short gamma, long gamma. If you hear short gamma, it's chase mode. if you hear long gamma, it's break mode. Okay, that means the market's going to chop. Chase mode, you're starting to get like runs like you see here. Okay, so it depends on what the pension fund is doing, because the pension fund ain't going to just bet directionally. Sometimes they want to be the insurance and they want to collect the premium. So who's on the other side of that? The dealer. And if that's the case, the dealer is going to ultimately need the market to make a directional move. And what are they going to do? They're going to start to hedge themselves. So in this example, let's say the pension fund bets the market goes up on ES or SPY. They're buying insurance. So if the market does dump, right, they're paying $100. It's obviously more, right? Come on. Simple math. If it dumps, they can make a lot. It just depends on how long they're buying the insurance policy, because if they buy it for a month or some shit like that, and I think these levels are running on 0 day. I swear to God, the guy that give me these levels, I'm going to have him one day. I'm going to fucking try to get him on the fucking show to talk more about this shit, to educate us. Me too. And he's been trying to communicate to me what all this shit is. For me, I'm like, ooh, level, long, short. Now I'm like, wait a second. That's not how this works. That's not how these volume profiles work. There's something else happening. And he's trying to explain it to me, but he's like one of those smart guys that uses smart guy language. And I'm just like, I need retard language. I need you to say fuck, ass, shit, piss, and talk like a fucking third grader, and then I'll get it. So that was just kind of a communicational error there. But yeah, so I pull these back up after I went through this rabbit hole, and I'm like, holy shit. It's starting to make a little more sense for building context. I'm still trading my system. I'm still trading my methodology. But now I'm starting to realize why the market starts to actually get into really nasty chop versus when it's like kind of going. This is actually starting to make it, that type of shit makes sense. Like I can identify when we're in like shit chop or trends and shit. I can see that and I can trade accordingly. But like why? What the fuck is going on? I want to know what. I want to know why. I don't want to just trade it. Like, you know, just to trade it. I like to know why things work. That's my MO. Like, I gotta fucking know, like, what the fuck is going on. I'm not that guy that's like, all right, go long, go short here, boom, you're... No, like, what the fuck happened? Right? So let's say that pension fund, there's a policy. They buy it for a month, right? Well, here's the thing. Options are starting to decay. So they need the market to go a lot fucking further to get a break even. So the moment they buy the put, right here where the red line is, as insurance, they spend $100 on it. If the market instantly dumps, they'll instantly start making money. However, as time goes on, that fucking break even starts to slowly drift downward. So this is why I know options has a lot of leverage and a lot of like noobs just go long call on GameStop or some shit. But if the market ain't moving, not only do you need to be directionally right, but god damn it, when you're fighting time decay, because I've traded options for a few years and I have a love-hate relationship with trying to do it. It fucking sucks. That time decay fucking sucks. It really does, because now you're fucking racing the fucking clock. So as time goes on, their insurance starts to, they need the market to go further. But it's good for the insurance salesman, the dealer on the other end of it, because now they got wiggle room that if the market starts to go down as that policy starts to close, right? It's like buying your car insurance, right? I buy it for a month. We only have 3 days left on this policy. The odds of me getting into a car accident have gone down substantially. So that fucking insurance salesman, he might just collect my entire policy at the end of the fucking month. I only got 3 days left. The odds of this fucking thing fucking him crashing, I'm probably going to collect a premium. So we're running out of time to collect that premium. So it starts to drift. So if the market instantly dumps, let's say it like the pension fund, they're long SPY, right? They think it's going to go up. But all of a sudden, you know, this just happens. Well, here's the deal. They're going to try to get out of that SPY position somehow. However, them being in this position is offsetting the loss they're taking on that SPY. Okay? It's still going to suck because they got to do some form of damage control. However, in this case, the market went up. So here's the deal. They're just losing $100 here. And they might be making a shitload of money up here. And it's probably going sideways because now they're fucking kind of rebalancing, trying to stay delta neutral. What does that delta neutral mean? From what I can gather, it's pretty complex. They're always hedging. No matter what, when it comes to options, when ES just makes any move, SPX or whatever, as an outright futures trader, any tick up or down affects the options. I mean, you got shit like delta, which is like the probabilities of it going here or not coming here, and you got all these fucking Greeks and shit that are telling you the probabilities of it not doing this or doing that, and if you're hardcore delta this way, you're aggressive. I made a video on options. You guys can look at it in the video section. If you look at the chain, the actual option chain, it is essentially a DOM. That's it. It is a DOM with limit orders and market orders. It's a little spreadier, and as you get closer to expiration, the spreads get bigger. You guys are lucky enough to see tight spreads in ES and NASDAQ at times, right? Have you really seen a spready DOM? Maybe go look at some bullshit like hog futures or whatever. Option chains over time start to get spreadier. So that sort of creates what I think as gamma risk, because the movements, as it moves through those wider spreads, a spreadier market is going to be more difficult to trade. But also, for example, if we're looking at the DOM, we're essentially buying it here at, let me do this, at 50, right? It says 50 over there. So here's the deal. You're paying that price. You're paying 50 times 100 or whatever. So let's just say you're paying fucking $50 for this thing. Okay? Well, here's the deal. This is what the time decay looks like. If the market goes up right away, I'm going to instantly make money. If it goes down, I'm going to instantly, it's like an outright trade in futures. But if I come back the next fucking day and trade 24 hours later and we're at the price of 50, well, the DOM's going to say like 49 or 48 because that goddamn time decay is starting to kick in. So now I need to get like 48s or 49s just to get a break even. So that DOM, it's like you're paying the price that's on the DOM. You're paying $50 or whatever for it, right? But that DOM is slowly going down to $0. So let's see what you guys are saying. Because I'm on a fucking roll. Fat Cat, what explaining those end of day charm rallies? I don't understand charm enough. Do you think knowing this makes you a better trader? What translates to trading and what doesn't? So let's fucking go. Let's dumb it down. Let's go. Let's play the game of how do I fucking use this as a fucking ES trader. Okay. Let me actually pull up. Is this today's footage? Let me pull up today's fucking footage. I think this is today. Today's the 14th, right? Let's just kind of look at some trades, okay? By the way, all this shit is recorded on the coffee. I just need to plug it. You can watch me trade, review, meditate with all the guys. Just want to plug that shit. All my recordings for like almost 2 years of all my trades are there, so you guys can see this. You can hear me talking. Just gonna fucking throw that out there. But anyways, so we're looking at this shit. I remember the prior day, this large put thing came out, and then it rallied up. Now I'm running a fucking cheat sheet. I have to talk to AI because like it hurts my brain at times. I'm trying to like put it together because I get dyslexic with calls and puts at times. Like which way is what? You know, so it's not like I can pick it up real quick. So right here, this was a big ass rally. So what might have been happening is pension funds were doing something. Let's see. Pension funds were probably betting the market would go up here. So they're selling a shitload of puts. And when they are selling the puts, the dealers, in order to hedge this, they're buying. And this is what I notice. I notice on the higher time frame we're in a range. Let's go sort of to the first trade. Okay. So I start to pulse check. So let me actually zoom out. So just know that we're in a bigger range. The green line down here is that big ass range. Again, let's take a look at that big ass range. Higher time frame. So this is 30-minute. Here's the dates, 5/13, 5/14. So it's roughly a 2-day range. So now something is happening. It's break mode. So overall, we're probably in long gamma is what they would call it. So I know we're in this giant range. And then what I do is I zoom in. This is a 30-second. I'm kind of looking at it. So there's a lot of overlap here in this section. I know there's a lot of ranging. They end up V-flushing it, and then they end up ranging here again. There was also a range here. So again, if we look at the 30-minute, we're essentially zooming in on this section. So now I'm looking at fractal shit. Big range has small range. Small range has another small range. I keep zooming in, right, to get context. I think this option shit for me is context. I'm just sharing you guys what I'm learning, right? It's like your kid comes home from school. What'd you learn today, right? I learned how to make a Play-Doh titty, which I did once in arts and crafts school, and nobody knew what it was. It was middle school. I made like a titty out of clay, and then I put like eyes on the front of it and little arms, but it clearly painted the nipple on the top of it. And I don't know how, but the teacher put it in the kiln, snuck it through. My mom put it on a shelf and cherished it. Nobody figured it out. Hell, in my senior pictures, I did the shocker in all my professional pictures. I'm like leaning on a hay bale or some shit because I live in Texas, right? You go get your senior pictures done in a fucking barn. That's what you do here. So if you don't know what this is, it's from Star Trek. Anyways, we got a range up here. They banged it in. Range down here, V flush, range up here. 3 ranges. So this is what I call like range alterations. They range in one area, they throw it to the next. This has nothing to do with options, but they're ranging from one, throwing it to the next. These fucking Gex levels aren't really doing shit. So apparently somebody gave this shit to me because they're like, you're wrong about Gex. And I'm like, all right, I'll be humbled and I'll look at it. People get their fucking panties in a fucking twist with shit I say all the time. I swear to God, I try to clear it up. I remember making a video once about how Delta sucks or order flow sucks. But then I say, you know, if you fucking use it and it works for you, keep doing it, because there's a billion ways to skin a cat. I'm looking for one of my cats, but so whatever, you're seeing something I can't. It's a magic fucking trick. These fucking levels or the order flow, it's like when you guys look at it and you don't understand it, it's like a holy shit, the fucking magician just sawed the lady in half. How did he do that? And then he spins it and you're like, wow, it looks real. What's the trick? Once you learn, you're like, oh, I get it. When it comes to looking at any of this shit, any of it, it's like, wow, what the fuck did he see that I didn't see? Well, he saw something, obviously, or he's just trading like shit. Didn't see nothing. But it's like there's something going on in these fucking options. I don't know what it is. I'd like to know, but I can't like I'm at this point in my trading where what I do works. What complements it and makes it better? I don't want to go doing new shit. And I get real wary about that crap. So this guy's telling me, hey, you're fucking wrong. Here, I built this, so apparently this is some external data being piped into an API in Asira charts on 0 days. It is accounting for charm and all that other bullshit. But all I know is this heavier blue is a call volume, total call volume. The lighter blue is open interest because unlike futures, you can see open interest. What does that mean? That means there's positions on. Like there are actively people long here. Or short if you're the dealer. Or you're collecting premium. But there are actively positions open here. Dark red, total volume. Lighter red, open interest. Open, that means positions are open. In futures, we don't know. Like, if you're watching the order flow come in the futures, it's like, well, is that guy flat? Meaning he's out of the trade? Or is he putting it on? We don't fucking know. In futures at least, but in options, they get the they know. I gotta drink this nasty ass water. Because I don't have any good water next to me. So that's what this is. Let's see if anybody's saying shit to me. Okay, anyways. So I'm looking at this. I'm zooming in. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. There was another stream before this, and I had a meeting because we're trying to make Tradecraft better. We're adding a fucking calendar widget to it, and we're going to start doing, like, performance tags and shit. So it's going to be sick. So I have to do these meetings with people. So at 20 minutes, I didn't do shit. Sit down for another 20 minutes. I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So 23 minutes after the stream starts. So here's the current context. I see this thing. This is called a slip range. 10-second chart. 1 second chart, right? So right in this zone, I'm like, I take a mental trade. I'm like, I think there's a short here because it's a slip range. So it's like, see how loose it is? Like those bars get really loose in the middle. Typically, they're going to retrace that. Got a video on slips and reclaims. Watch that 15 times. So it did go down, and I'm like, okay, I'm right. Then I take like a long here mentally. I'm like, I think they're going to revert it back in. And I'm watching these option levels. I'm like, well, we're really like, they're chopping. They're chopping on the higher time frame. They're chopping on the smaller time frame. So overall, we're in long gamma mode. What that means is the pensions are trying to collect premium. They're trying to run the clock. Hopefully the market doesn't move. They can collect insurance money. So what's happening is the dealers are hedging. So since the market is so choppy, the dealers are going to be buying dips, or they'll be buying the pullbacks up here. However, something happened here where a lot of large contracts came in, 50s, 60s, 70s, shit like that. And my theory and thinking is, okay, well, they're constantly hedging their books. They're trying to constantly stay delta neutral. From the research I've done, these motherfuckers are always getting in and out of positions. Both of them, the pension funds and the dealers. So it's chopping. But there was a brief moment where large blocks of trades came in. What you got to understand about that is when you're seeing 50s and 60s coming in as market orders, they're desperate. They're basically like, I need this now, even though we're overall in a broader range. In this moment, the market trends down, in my opinion. It's all fractal. The thing about these small time frames is, unlike a large time frame, like the 30-minute chart, we've been in a range for 2 days, right? On these small time frames, you get the ranges and then you get rallies. So you're cycling that sort of auction market theory thing many times per session on a smaller time frame. So they sold a bunch of blocks. There's desperation on that down move right there. So what happens is it starts to go sideways. So we went from chase mode, and when there's a trend, that's when the pension funds are either long a call, long a short, or buying a call, buying a put. So the pension fund is actively doing something up here, and what's happening is the dealers are sort of fueling that move. And then it starts to get sideways. So now it's in break mode. So the fucking gamma starts to go long, and then you're starting to have the pension funds they went from actually having a directional bias on options here to taking some of that off and positioning themselves in here to collect premium to be the insurance guys. So the dealers are adjusting accordingly. Again, in the chat, I sent you a document. I think it's 23 through 24, the year, where they broke this down and explained shit. It's a deep research project. So, but how do you trade it, right? So I'm not seeing these goddamn fucking levels really doing much. I'd like to see numbers on it, but it's not really doing. They kind of update every second and they move up and down, but I like, without seeing numbers, it's fucking hard on my eyes. So what I notice is, like, I start talking to ChatGPT. I'm like, man, there's this big ass level. I need you to simplify what might be happening. And I really do not recommend using ChatGPT to get you into trades. You better fucking know what you're fucking doing. I'm trying to figure out if this fucking range is going to, like, continue to go down to this green line from my own standpoint, but can I gather some options data to maybe help confirm it? So mental trade short here, but it takes forever. Mental trade long here, it ends up coming back on top of me. So I'm pulse checking, right? I'm putting my finger on the pulse of the market. Then I think somewhere else around here, I do another pulse check, either short or long. If you want the research here, somebody's asking for that. It's right there. Yeah, let me double check to make sure I didn't send a picture of my ass or some shit. Yeah, there's a PDF on it. I think that's it. Yep. Sent you the right PDF. That's always a relief. So I'm like taking mental trades 23 minutes in, and I'm just like doing this, and I'm realizing that all I'm going to really get out of the motherfucker is like a tick or two or three or four. So I'm like, all right, I'm preparing myself for management. So I'm like, I'm gonna, whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to try to scalp the fucking thing. Here's the problem is this fucking range is starting to drift. And then I'm kind of tracking blocks hitting in this section on the DOM. You can see the arrows. And let's go up to wherever that first trade is. I have an order slicer that I use to get into it. So they kind of pivot off this open interest call level. However, I notice a lot of blocks aren't hitting. I'm trying to hit this reclaim here. So a reclaim is one hard move. And they typically do retrace them at some point. Because you can see like here it ripped up. They drifted in, ripped up, drifted in, ripped up, chopped in, dumped, popped in, chopped it, dumped, ripped it back, V-flushed up, but then they came back in. They did a partial retrace. So these hard moves are like vacuums in the price action. It's a repeatable pattern. Getting into it is not very straightforward. But if you can get good clarity and a pulse check, you can like move into that and get a momentum trade. So I know they're chopping a lot here. So we try to get into it. I know they're not selling a bunch of fucking blocks on the tape. They did sell a couple of blocks here, but most of it was up in that region. So for me, higher time frame, this yellow line is the midpoint of the range. I got a bit of a reclaim here. I'm going to probe at it. I am very aware that it could start trending lower. So I'm going to be as quick about it as I can. So what's happening is I got a partial fill on this. And I'm trying to work my way out of it. So I have to use different order types. I get some of the contracts out for a couple of ticks. So I get a few ticks of a win and a few ticks of a loss, but it was we're kind of down on it at this point. Let me actually go to my journal. Just to show you guys the P&L on it. So, you know, it's kind of slipping up in this section, and my thinking is, you know, they might push that reclaim, but I need to be in and out of this son of a bitch. Guerrilla warfare. Fast, right? And unfortunately, we were having problems. So we lose $137 on this trade, right? And then the next trade is about definitely some time later. You can see that it's starting to extend outward. We're getting near the bottom of the range right here. So I'm just like, when the market trends, I'm really not, when it's just clearly going one direction, I am not super good at that. I know that. So I tend to typically stay out of it. Because I'm trying to fade it or some bullshit. Right? I'm trying to fade a goddamn fucking trend. So I know best to just stay out of it and get the clarity I need on the fucking thing. So we're waiting. Let's see what people are saying. The indicator on this, it's some custom shit by some guy. Seen your pictures at a barn, huh? Definitely different than New Jersey. Yeah, you guys probably fucking have it at a fucking, like, you pack 'em or some shit. or whatever the fuck you guys have. You guys have all the like Top supermarket or some shit. I don't fucking know. You guys probably have them at a hot dog stand or some shit. I see my jokes aren't landing. Anyways, we got them in Barnes, but I'm late to that. Is that Gex indicator public? Nah, it's like somebody sells it, but they just gave it to me. And I had to plug in a user key. And I just haven't really been using the motherfucker. So, we're kind of coming down. So, notice how we're starting to, like, puke more. I'm starting to notice more blocks are coming. So, it seems like we're transitioning from break mode to chase mode. So, I'm kind of, like, thinking like that. I'm like, all right, that makes sense because they're putting in a lot of big blocks. That's desperation, whatever they're doing. So the market is kind of going down. Let's see, rallies. So what could be happening is the pension fund might be buying a put. So they're betting the market goes down. They want crash insurance. So the dealer at this point is selling small chunks of futures at price drops. So that's what it's starting to look like. I'm using this fucking cheat sheet. But since you got buy call, sell a call, buy a put, my brain again gets dyslexic. So I'm like looking at this sheet. And I'm typing to ChatGPT. I'm like, which mode are they in? But I'm still like, I'm trading my shit, right? So I know that they're starting to run this fucking bottom of this range. So here's a 30-second. We can see that, you know, again, range down, range V-flush, range up. Now this range is in breakout mode. So from Fat Cat style, from my own contextual standpoint, this is also in breakout mode. We're not really ranging here anymore because they have a range. They threw it to another range. They threw it back to it. It's like a ping pong game. At some point, they're going to throw it out, and there's going to be an overrun where it just keeps like trending down, and I catch that. So for me, there's a high likelihood I can snag a scalp in here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I might fucking catch this in a... Let's see when that short comes in. It should be, yeah, right there. So I see a shitload of blocks, but unfortunately, we can't see the micro price action. I'm going to have to review this because it may not be the best entry. It doesn't go against me. Let's see here. I know I never get into like deep shit on it. It goes against me about 5 ticks on the ass end. So then it starts dumping. I'm like trying to work my way out of it. So I'm like, fuck. And I just take 2 because it comes back so quick. So I'm putting these fucking slicers in down here. But it instantly comes in. Could have got a little more out of it, but I'm being super defensive. I'm taking shots, getting the fuck out because, like, this is just not that type of day where I'm going to fucking hit a good layup because, like, it took me 20-something minutes to get a pulse check. Like, I don't know what's going on. Then I start to get a pulse check, and when I get my pulse check on the market, I only can get a few ticks. I want to be defensive. I don't want to be aggressive. I want to be hitting right in spots. But you got this like put deal going on. So can I twist the options into narrative? That's what I'm attempting to do because apparently there's actual research on what is actually fucking happening. It's not like somebody's on the internet going, well, I think this is what... No, there's like, this is what they're doing. So how can it complement what the fuck I do? But here's the problem, and I know this problem all too well. The first time you guys look at a DOM, you think it's the coolest shit. and then you don't look at anything else, and then you're getting fucked up because you totally forgot about all the rest of your trading system, and you're not complementing what you do. What I've noticed through the years as I evolve, it's all about what can I do to complement what works for me. They better be friends. If they're not friends, I can't use it. And for me, like, I ran these things, these levels, got rid of it because I didn't understand how it really worked. And now I'm starting to get it. And that document I sent you guys, I'm going to go through it multiple times until I really understand it. But in this specific example, there's kind of in chase mode and it's going down. So what I realized, since it's going down, and I'll show you the last trade. On those pullbacks that pop up, you're gonna have the sellers selling small chunks, the dealers, to offset their hedge. So let me actually go to the last trade, which it's only a 3 ticker. Doesn't seem like shit, but you don't need much. I think, I mean, the guys that are like, whoa, my win rate overall, let's take a fucking look. Let's look at my fucking total win rate. Main numbers. We're at a 67.7. I'm about a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio trader, but here's the deal. If you guys are going for that big shit, oh, yeah, there it is. If you guys are going for those big ass layups, your win rate's definitely going to go down. I don't think there's any fucking way around that. You're going to be like a 30-40% win rate trader. There's no way you're going to be getting big layups, and I don't want to say it's impossible, but I don't think the odds are really in your fucking favor. Got any Tradecraft merch? No, this is a shirt I made years ago. Maybe one day we'll do a shirt. I need to start wearing my own shit all the time. I don't know where this DEX data is coming from or how it was fucking coded, to be fair. I would much prefer, I don't fucking really know. It's interesting because it does things and things happen, but it's like any other fucking indicator, right? So here's the deal. We dump and we're testing the bottom of this range, and it's like, okay, on a 30-minute time frame, you know, they could revert it. It's been in a range for 2 fucking days. They could revert it. I need confirmation. I don't want to just fade the motherfucker. And obviously the price action's starting to change. Again, 1 second, and it's starting to get stuck. It's starting to get sticky. So what this is telling me is they went from chase mode back to break mode. Again, catching the right side of the V. So what happens is there's a bit of a dump here. There's a slight reclaim. I'm not looking at any specific level from options perspective. I'm just using that theory at this point, right? I'm using the theory of chase mode, break mode. What are the blocks doing? I'm also noticing a lot of big buy and sell blocks are coming in. So up here, a bunch of big buy blocks came in. So the blocks are coming in on both sides, and they're starting to come in right here. So then we just kind of get in here. It stalls this reclaim. There's another reclaim up here. The price action patterns look different. It's getting stuck. It's getting sticky. So if I use that Gex theory, and we just pick up 3 on it because I'm not trying to get the world See, if I would have held that, it would have been dicking around on me. This is just not the day. Oh, and then we watched Techno Viper. Or not Techno, fucking Viking Techno. Or what is this name? Techno Viking. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. We started reminiscing about the old days of the internet, okay? So, after that fucking trade. So, yeah, Techno Viking. But anyways, if you've been around since the dawn of the internet. So at that point, I'm just kind of using the options to like formulate, like, why is it chopping? Why is it running? They must be doing this. And that's just kind of what's happening in my head. So how do I use it? Probably not right. Okay, but either way, I was very patient today. I traded really well. Just not one of those days where I'm getting a fucking 5-point layup. Could it happen? Yeah, but would it probably happen on the first or second trade? Nah, I'm going to get fucked up. I just know what that is. It's just one of those sessions where I need to grind out fucking peanuts. And sometimes that's how it goes. So, you listened to Base Hunter Dada the other day. Yeah, this ain't a Tradecraft shirt. This is just like just a fucking shirt I had of a cat I used to have named King Joseph. So I thought I would make it years ago. But anyways, that's what's going on. A 2-hour fucking stream. Hold on, somebody sent a comment. Let's see what they said. Oh, never mind. All right, guys. I will see you in next fucking Wednesday. You can see that my green screen is missing a big chunk. There used to be a green screen here and on the floor, and then the wall was a coping, and I'm getting ready to move at the end of the month. So I've ripped all that shit out. So we'll pour one out on the floor for this fucking trading room I've had, because we went from closet to not a closet, and I'll be trading in a house. So hopefully when the prop firm's built, we'll have an office and it'll be cool. I'll throw some not fucked up parties. Can't do drugs. Smoke a little weed. Drink a little alcohol. But don't be doing no cocaine. If you do it in the bathroom. But hopefully when we'll have an office one day in a few years from now. Or not. Who fucking knows. But the prop firm's going pretty good. Learning about option shit. I think AI is cool as shit. And that's the episode for the fucking week.